everybody knows my mama, so y'all know what the deal is, right? And how serious she was about what she was doing. Look, we got to use this momentum to help us, right? Help our family move forward, wherever you live, including me, right? So just think about it. Every time you come down the street, every time you're in this area, that sign is going to be there, all right? It ain't going nowhere. That's a law. They can't move it, all right? So by default, right, we have something as a testimony that we have for everybody, right? And you know, she wasn't about her, she was about us, right? And that's how it works. I always tell people like, Auntie Babe's like my second mom, right? I spent more time in the house than I did in my own sometimes, right? And everything we did, you know, it was a big family. Everybody on the street, like the robbers, was all in the car, go to the beach. Y'all know how this thing works. And this is all Pearl City. It's all Pearl City. Played with Leslie and Val and everybody. This is who I put together this girl toys forever. All right, forever. Right?
Birthday parties. Don't forget about the birthday party on the carport.
Birthday party.
Yeah.
Walking to 7-Eleven when they had free Slurpees.
Yes.
Right? Going to the Goodwill. I mean, you know, name it. We all did it all together, right? So we all still together. And everybody's got different lives, doing different things. Don't forget, we're all still together. We're all still together. I really want to be in touch and work together, you know? All right? Babe, you got it.
She does not have that much to say.
That's
right over there. She bought the property for $500 and rented the house out for $8 a week. How old were you when you bought that house? She was 17 years old when she bought it.
that house right there. I was on for
10 years ago, she was offered $250,000 for the house. She still owns it and she still rents it out. And when she's no longer with us, that house will still be there and still be in the family. She said one of the things about this street, the people used to gamble under this tree. Gamble under this tree. Because the lens fold over and you couldn't see.
Right. It was touching the ground.
Yeah.
Remember that? The judges were going away.
Aunt Lois would come down here and run them away. But the restaurant here, a lot of the big trucks will park on this street. And Aunt Lois went to the city and told them no, they can't park. Say that again for us. She believed in being on time, and if you were not on time, she would leave.
My mother left me at the office.
And that's it.
And one other thing too, I'm not selling my property. That property my mom left for us is gonna be left with these guys. All right. Everything, we're keeping everything. And if we could figure out how to get Uncle Jim stuff back, we're gonna do that too. And any other property around here.
Amen.
Like Papa Johnny, that house, we just walked past that house. That was my grandfather's house. That house, we sold that house for like, we sold the house for like $40,000. You see the house now? It's an Airbnb. It's beautiful. And it just reinforces that this is ours. Like this is all of ours.
You know, I was telling Charlene when we got here that I actually feel like I could walk in any of these houses and I love them. Because as a kid, there wasn't a house that I didn't feel like I was welcome in this whole area. And most of the ones on 15th Terrace. Like of course I can't, I'm going to jail if I do, but that's how I feel. Because as Joseph said, it's ours. This was where you ran around barefoot, where it didn't matter who the mama and the daddy and the aunties were. Everybody looking out for you. Everybody making sure you got something to eat, that you're not doing something you're supposed to be doing, that you're behaving
Otherwise,
in a way
they
that makes us proud. I mean, you could not do something on 15 Terrace and walk back over here and it already not be known. By the time you got back
That's right. That's right.
You might as well get your butt whooping ready.
The Anadella was gonna snitch.
Oh yeah, sure yeah.
Anadella snitch. Quick, my mom calling grandma's house from work like, who over there?
Yeah, that's funny.
And not only
All right,
that,
you want to
sometimes the people that were called on you would beat you.
And then you get back.
And you be telling them, don't tell mom and dad. Because you know if you got back home,
Get another
you're going to get another beat.
That didn't apply to me because I didn't do best. That was Val and Reggie. What Reggie? That was Val and Reggie.
Oh, man. Yeah.
T, you wanna?
So sister telling her what she need to tell y'all.
No, they waiting on you.
Okay, my name is Viola Miller Fashaw, and Aunt Lois was my mother's sister. And of course, I'm very nervous because I'm a speaker in front of people. But she was my mentor, my spiritual advisor. She was my friend. She was my educator, and she was my provider because a lot of times when my husband and I first got married, we got married in my mama's front yard.
Yep, I remember.
My husband had like $10 on him, which we had to pay the preacher. And Aunt Lois gave us $10, not knowing that we didn't have any money. And that was what we left from Boca Raton going to Derry with $10. So she was always inspirational for me. I remember one time when I retired from banking, and I got held up. And when I got held up, and they sent me home. When I left the bank, I came straight to Aunt Lois's house because I know she was going to be my comforter. And when I knocked on the door, she said, "Come on in. You supposed to work?" And I said, "Well, I have something to tell you." She said, "Okay, sit down." She said, "You want something to drink?" So then I told her what had happened. And the man when the man robbed me, he didn't show a gun, but he put his hand in his jacket like this. Anyway, she gave me all the comfort I need, and I stayed there for half the day, and then I went home. But she made sure I was okay. And that's the type of person that she is. So if I needed to talk to someone, all I had to do is call her or talk to her. And she was a great support to my mother because my father died when I was a baby. And my Aunt Lois helped my mom with her children, and it was 7 of us. She would help her. So she was always in our life, just like she was our second mom. So anyway, so when she passed, it was, really touching to me. But all I know is I do remember she being so spiritual, just always talking to me spiritually. And it always gave me an uplift. She gave me scriptures to read and all of that. So I will miss her a lot. She got a lot with me that I carry with me every day. She made me a blanket, and even right now, hot as it is, I will put that blanket on my bed. Hot as it is. My son will come in, Mama, why you want this blanket? And all of this, but so I remember different things that she, different parts that she played in my life. So anyway, I do believe, and I do know that she's in heaven just waiting for us to come. And I am working on it. I will be there. And I will see her again.
I'm Leslie, Robert Miller's youngest. Most people remember Beverly, the oldest, and then Valerie, and then there was a third one, and they always, I don't know if that was a boy or a little girl. That was me. I was a girl. And until Portia came along, I felt like I was the baby, and then Portia came.
Yeah.
I yelled out earlier when Joseph was talking and naming different things that we were participating in with Aunt Lois about the birthday parties underneath the carport. I know to this day, I I celebrate my birthday in a big way because between Auntie and Aunt Lois, they made sure we had a birthday party. You know, ain't nobody have a whole bunch of money. But when we were all together, if you just got a little something from the 10-cent store and you're playing with your cousins, life was phenomenal. And they made sure we had these little birthday parties. That meant so much to me as a kid because I was the youngest. Everything I owned was hand-me-down from somebody else. But that birthday cake had my name on it and nobody else's. You know, there were balloons, there were parties, and Aunt Lois always had a $2 bill to hand you.
Yeah, the $2 bill.
I still got $2 bills packed away in a Bible somewhere. I mean, those $2 bills, that was your present.
Yeah.
Right. I'm hoping to sell them one day and get a whole bunch of money. Maybe I'll buy them Jimmy's property back. You know, and I know we are honoring Aunt Lois, but I cannot honor Aunt Lois without talking about Spot. Because I was a dog lover, and that dog Spot, when he got older, he didn't have no teeth, but I always made sure she took care of that dog, and I just was like, it made me love dogs all the more because of the love she had for that dog. And I never understood it. It's like, it's just a dog. But she took care of that dog. But that Aunt Lois, when I first moved back to Florida, I would come to Ebenezer with her during her birthday month, so I always came. In September, and then she had the prayer circle, and I started going to that. So when you talk about being a spiritual leader and a teacher, when I was at Carver Middle School, she was not my teacher, but she was at the school looking all the time. I couldn't cross the line. I remember I had a parent conference, my father couldn't come, Aunt Lois sat in, and woo! I wish my daddy had been there, because, I mean, they weren't even saying bad stuff, but Aunt Lois, sit up. Okay? I mean, I just felt so self-conscious, but Aunt Lois's love of education actually inspired me to be a teacher when I was trying to figure out what to do after my divorce, because I was supposed to be an engineer, but I'm like, don't want to do that now that I'm a single parent, and I thought about it, and I'm like, you know, I love what I saw Aunt Lois do with young people and for young people, and that inspired me to do the same. And I am teaching 12th grade at Atlantic High School, and I talk to my students about math, and I bring out Lois' name up all the time. I'm like, my aunt was teaching math before your parents are being thought about, and y'all act like it's a hard thing. It ain't hard, y'all can do it, and I don't even teach math. But I love my Aunt Lois. I miss her so much. Her friendliness, her welcoming spirit, I don't know, I feel like the world just is not the same. Pearl City has lost the pearl.
Mm-hmm. It has.
I don't know, I thought everybody called her Aunt Lois.
Call her Aunt
do.
Lois.
Yeah.
Everybody
But
does.
she was my aunt. She was a cousin. But what I remember about her was that she had a dignity and a demeanor that commanded respect.
Amen.
She didn't demand respect, but she commanded respect. You just being around her, you knew that she was somebody that don't take no foolishness. So that's one of the things I remember about her. If I remember, y'all bear with me, because I remember down at the Miller's house. I used to go down to the Miller's house. Call all the time. And I remember when I had an afro and I had the big old bundle, and Adela and Irene, and I'm calling them that because they ain't playing Irene. When I was young, I had to call them good boy. But anyway, they were like, boy, you need to get rid of that hair and a half. And they were so happy when I did. Another thing I'm going to talk about and remember is, you probably don't remember this, but we all, us older ones, remember when Lee Arthur, uncle,
Yes, we do.
owned the Sunday. And one night, the guys in the Sundries had a fight with the guys in Deerfield. I wasn't in the fight. The guy from Deerfield went home And about a couple of hours later, all the guys from Deerfield came back, and every one of them had a gun. One of the guys was sitting in the car. He was sitting in his car, and they shot his shotgun and knocked a hole in his door this big. Now you know what all the rest of us did. We started running.
We all ran.
Now, Grandmama stayed on the north side, and the house on the south side. I remember Aunt Lois was in the house on the south side, seemed like. And I was trying to get to Grandmama's house to get in. I couldn't get in. So I ran past her house to Betty's house. And I ran in their house, and they let me in to keep them guys from shooting me.
Thank God.
Because they were running up and down the street shooting at anybody from the world. So that was, I don't know if you remember that, but that's one of the things I did. But now, the other thing was Sister Martin. I call her, I mean, she was Aunt Lois. But for about 35, 40 years, she's been Sister Martin. She's Sister Martin. She was the clerk in the church. She took pictures. And I remember when she took a couple of trips to the Holy Land, and she came back and shared the pictures with the church. And she's been Sister Martin, Sister Martin, Sister Martin. I don't even remember. I don't think I ever called her Lois. Sister Martin, Sister Martin. And I remember a time when I tell you when we were being there, we were together, we were having some difficulties, some financial difficulties. We didn't ask her for money. Well, she was a praying lady. She prayed. And for some reason, she knew we needed some money. I'm telling you, she came by. She gave us $500. We didn't ask for it. She just knew we needed it. And we needed it at that time very, very bad. And so she was good at the finances. She was good at teaching. As a matter of fact, she taught my dad how to do the financial records and how to keep them for the church and keep them in balance. And so her legacy at the church is not only she been there, but as our pastor said when he got him, she didn't ask for respect, she didn't demand respect, but he respected her. It's just that's the way she was. And that legacy keeps going on because the effects of what the trustees and the financial department and all of that do now is a result of what Sister Martin taught my dad, who taught Brother Gaskin, who taught them how to take care of the finances of the church. So she's been Sister Martin, she's been good, she's been doing all these things. And today I learned some things I didn't know. I didn't know they was trying to take the park over there. Hughes Park, that was our granddad that they named the park after. And then I don't know what they're trying to do with Dixon Manor, but I say I hope they don't do it because they got Sister Martin's name on the little center in there. And I say now if they change the Dixon Manor, are they going to take her name off of there? You know, and they don't need to take her name off of her. She's so instrumental in so many things. And so it makes you proud to say, I'm related.
Yes.
Okay? One other thing I'm going to say, you got to remember your roots. You know, it started with the Dolphins. And then you got the Guards. And you got the Spades. And you see a tree that grows up. Thing is, there ain't a whole lot of us in a lot of trouble and stuff.
Amen.
So you see those good roots. You know, when you got good roots, you produce good fruit. But the roots are rooted in the Lord.
Amen.
And that's why you can see so much good fruit because of where the root is. And the root is rooted in the Lord. And thank God, because she never gave up church. In spite of anything in her life, she still except for maybe when she was going to Florida Memorial, and she had to had to ask permission to get somebody to go everywhere that you needed to go. You know, you got to go down. But when you're young, you know, you feel kind of like that. But you grow up. But the roots be still there. See, roots will always produce good fruit. Good roots, good fruit.
Expand.
Because my feet hurt.
You want to sit down?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
Now that I just feel led to say something because you're talking about heritage and taking it and running with it, the next generation. We are all older now. This is our senior person, Howard and I, Deborah. We're all older now. And it's up to the young people to grasp hold of what legacy has been left to you and run with it. You know, Miss Martin did tremendous things. Our whole family did tremendous things. My grandfather came here, built a house, and he's credited with building the first house in this community. The uncle, my grandmother's brother, pastored the first church. My grandfather was instrumental in getting Macedonian church. He was instrumental in getting the school built here, Roman Elementary. My dad wrote the song for Roman Elementary, and I've got it home on paper that's deteriorated. There is so much legacy in us that it would be a shame to watch it die at this point, because we can go forward.
If I get you some acid-free supplies, can you just give it in crowd?
and make a difference where you are. We gave
She
a
just
community
said.
reunion back in 2000.
Okay.
What year was that? 2006, 2007. See, I was part of the first group of black kids to go to the white school here in Boca Raton. It was me along with 8 boys. And let me tell you, it was tough. And it's because of our relatives, our dad, our uncles, finding out what's going on in the legislature that opened up the opportunity for us to go to a white school before integration happened. Now, Miss Martin talked to Dad. I call her Miss Martin, Aunt Martin, Cousin Martin, out of respect, you know. She talked to my dad, and he said he made the decision that we were not going to college. And I was heartbroken. I'm going out here to a world that I didn't even know existed outside of my community. I'm by myself. These boys are with their friends, or they had.
I had 4 friends, and the reason they were friends because when we was in the Boy Scouts, we went all the way up on 51st Street. You all know where 51st Street, Yamato Road. Well, it used to begin at the tracks, the railroad tracks. And we went out there and did camping overnight with Boy Scouts. But when we came back, we played baseball with this group of white boys, and I got to know them, not as friends, but just as acquaintances. But when I came to Boca High, they recognized me and kind of took me in as friends. So I had a couple of people I could talk to,
And I had
but Jerry
nobody.
had nobody. I felt bad for the sister.
Nobody. Nobody. It was hard. It was tough, but it was doable. Because we are the pioneers. That's what my grandfather, our grandparents, our great people left us, the pioneering spirit. We may not like it at the time, but once you get beyond the beginning of it, it gets to be okay. And I was able to understand why my father made the decision that he did, that he would go there, because it set me up for the world I live in now. I've got a daughter who's married to
person, you know, and I was like, oh no. The Lord was preparing me. I got to work at Bell South. You know, and all kind of opportunities. What I'm just saying is that the legacy we have been left, don't negate it. Embrace it. Because right where you are, there is opportunity for you to make a difference. Our family, that's who we are. We're hard workers. Think about it. Anybody that hire us, they hire us with things. Because we work hard. So I'm saying that it's on everybody here. It's on everybody here. And I'm thankful.
I feel honored.
Yeah.
I'm married into the family. And I'm taking it on, and I love y'all. All the Dolphins, everybody. It's been a joy, a pleasure.
It was
I've
so
been here
nice
45 years.
in a community where every other house is your relative. Don't you understand, a cousin or something?
Yeah.
I miss that. I live in Lake Burke now because there's no place to spread out here in the community that I grew up in. So I just do what I have to do.
Odessa started those old family reunions. Remember y'all?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she worked
We were at
so
her house,
hard
yeah.
trying to get the
Yes.
next generation
Yeah,
to
the
take it over.
reunion.
And
Oh,
yeah.
Look, I still got the notebook.
So I'm just saying
That's why it was at Odessa's
we're all
house.
here, right? We're all here. And it would be great if someone
Yeah.
would start that up again.
Here.
I just text Joseph and Portia just now to say I had a great idea. The Lois Martin Legacy Family Reunion. Portia, Joseph. I need you to stop pointing that finger at me.
First cousin club.
Before we go there, I want to say, you know, when we located back here, my mom made it a point, and she took me to everybody's house. I remember that, and it was like a routine. I love it. I love going to Vi's house, and then going to Boca Raton's house, right? And then going down to Homer's house. I love that, right? And I was only a child. So when I walked to your house, I was so intimidated. I saw all these people. I was like, you know, yeah, I was like that. Yeah, I'm talking when we relocated here. And y'all relocated, y'all said, y'all was like, yeah, you're not used to being around all these people. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
But then that's why on debate, I mean, everything I did, she took me somewhere. Right? Every place.
Baby kids,
Right?
they used to love going to the movies. I used to love y'all house. I used to love going.
Huh?
Piano
Oh yeah,
was there.
you know what I used to have